hoping for, as is the case with this recent story. That starting this year, General Conference will not feature a Saturday session at all. Now, they've already changed this several times, and now they've just decided, I guess, to do away with it entirely, which is kind of sad because it was sort of an important family tradition for my family to gather together. The men, when it was priesthood session, to go together, and then afterwards, as a family, to discuss it because when it was broadcast and it wasn't on the internet, in order to get anything right afterwards, we would get together with my sister and my mother and other females, and we would talk about what we had taken away from it. So it was a way for us to have a family discussion afterwards that is no longer as special. One of the last memories I have with my maternal grandfather is taking him to conference. I drove up to visit, and I was there visiting, and I asked if he was interested in going with me, and I drove over in the rental car and parked in the handicap spot because he was handicapped. And when I got out, people were giving me the evil eye for parking in the handicap spot until they saw my grandfather get out of the car, me help him get out of the car, and then it was, oh, okay, well, he's okay and he's cool. And there are things about that I'm going to keep to myself that made it a special event. But if not for that Saturday evening priesthood session, I would not have had that good family memory with a grandfather that has been dead for over 10 years. And so it's kind of a sad thing because I know it will never happen again. And there are people who will never have that experience because they've done away with it. And I'm not sure what the reason is, and I'm sure there's a good reason, and I'm sure that there's a wise reason and a prayerful reason and all that. But yeah, they announced that there's just going to be the 4 sessions. So first it was priesthood session just for the men only at night, and then it was alternating. I think spring was the men and fall was the women, and then they just made it a general session for everyone, and then they broadcast it to everyone. And so over the past 10 years, it's been diluted and now deleted entirely, which is really quite remarkable now that I put that together in my head that 10 years ago it was totally different, and now 10 years later it's totally gone. That doesn't mean you can't get together and talk about it as families afterwards, but there isn't the need to share stuff or to pay attention. And I paid attention. I took notes. I thought about things I might want to share with my family members who were not there. That I don't have that anymore because now we can watch it on the internet and we watch it in the comfort of our home in our pajamas or whatever. It's no longer the outing and the gathering event that it used to be. And I'm sure that's something that we could choose to change. It just shocks me, and that's because I think about taking my grandfather there and how grateful I am for that memory, which if he were alive now and he were dying now, I would not be possible. Um, and I wouldn't have known that. I'd be like, oh, I guess I'm not doing that after all. Because my grandma was happy I took him. He was happy to go. We had a good time. I'll keep the details to myself. But it's a treasured memory near the end, spending time with my grandfather. That's about a year before he died. And I'm very grateful for that. But it's 10 years ago it was there, and now it's not there at all anymore. It changed, and in the last 10 years, it's changed from priesthood meeting to shared, then to general meeting, and now to no meeting at all. Wild, what a wild ride! 10 years. This is only twice a year, but in 10 years, it's completely gone. Um, I'm not sure what to do with that, but I want to share some of my thoughts on this Friday about how it makes me feel because and how it used to positively affect my life. Because now I got to find a different way to make it meaningful. Anyway, Godspeed and have a good weekend.